Good day and hello to every single person in the Brokers Playbook community. This is Simeon Papailias, my co-host Laura Martin, and our esteemed guest, Mr. Taylor Hack from Hack & Co., Remax River City in Edmonton. I want to welcome you, Taylor, to Brokers Playbook podcast. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing awesome. It's been a great week so far, and I have to say, really, how can you be having a bad time in real estate in North America right now?
True enough. Laura Martin, nice to see you. How are you, my dear?
I'm really good, and I'm super stoked to have our first Edmontonian in the house. I got tons of questions.
Awesome.
Taylor, you have gained quite a reputation in the industry. You're extremely active on social platforms such as Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram. I don't want to go down an accolade path. I want you to talk about your path, and I want our audience and our community, the Brokers Playbook community, is one that looks for practical tips and advice and insight from people who are doers, people who execute on a daily basis on principles consistently for success. So I know you have had tremendous success around a system of reviews. I know you've had tremendous success. You got to from 0 to $1 million in gross commissions earned in a matter of less than 3 years, just over 2.5 years. So you have had a lot of success early on in your path. You've now been in the business for almost 8 years, but I want you to go down any path that you see that kind of brings that logical sequence of events of your story and how somebody can take specific points out of your journey to win in their path today.
I appreciate that. I really took a look at real estate as being almost like an experience of milestones. So initially you're asking yourself, can I do this? That's what I think a lot of people that are writing their real estate course right now are thinking, okay, I'm really nervous. Am I going to be able to create enough value here? Is this going to be a meaningful experience for me? Because really, when you take a look at it as a whole, real estate is the lowest barrier to entry for a legitimate entrepreneurial experience.
No doubt.
So many people second to mortgage broking.
I actually would argue that
no. 2 days. 2 days, and you're a mortgage agent. Yeah.
And I would appreciate that the access point may be there, but there's also other elements to it. You know, like I actually had the pleasure of doing mortgages previously. So I've done about I think it's definitely in excess of $100 million in mortgages. But taking a look at that point, I think that you have a very valid point, but I think that there's a lot of people that would have trouble selling an intangible. So when you take a look at why people choose to sell houses and why real estate is so popular in marketing, it's based on the fact that shelter is a base need.
Yep.
Yes.
We all have a place to live. We all live somewhere. So talking to other people about living somewhere is something that feels natural to us.
Yes, I agree.
And I kind of look at it also like golf. Like, look at how many people in the world play golf. There's so many, arguably one of the most popular sports and accessible sports. And then there's only 100 people in the world that can say I'm on the tour. That's a pretty sharp funnel, right? So when you take a look at real estate from the outside, one of the reasons that you see people that used to be realtors in places like Dragon's Den and Shark Tank is because if you can hit it here, this is like the true test. This is where all the little turtles are trying to make it across the beach to the water, right?
Yes. But how many actually make it?
Well, what they say is that the drop off, like over 90% drop off after year one, and then again, another 90% going into year two.
Yes.
And
sounds
that's
like
what I was meaning
with restaurants.
Actually, one of my friends, he has 3 restaurants in one of the highest concentrations of restaurants in the US. So Newport, Rhode Island. I think there's 86 restaurants in 1 mile, and this guy's owned 3 of them and has a real estate company in the top 1%.
Wow.
It's like the people that I get to meet, like that's actually why I do anything. Why I learned how to do public speaking was to get access, and it works. 3 out of 4 people don't want to do public speaking because 1 out of 4 people actually has the phobia. And so when we look at those as like access points, I'm like, I want to compete there. And by competing there, I got some cool rewards. I got to be an Inman finalist in 2018 for Innovator of the Year. And while I was in San Diego, I got a private invitation to have a tour at Facebook. Like I got to see Mark Zuckerberg's office in person. And that's really interesting to me. I continue to get to try to spend time with people like you guys, the people that really understand that this can be like a contact sport. You know, business is a place where there really is the same amount of drama as why people watch sports.
Well, I will tell you, Taylor, that the actual name of Broker's Playbook, when we were talking about this a year ago today, to be honest.
Oh my God, yay.
This is our actual anniversary episode.
Congratulations.
Expect flowers at your desk shortly, Simeon.
Expect chocolate in yours, sweetie. But when we came up with the name and we were talking about what we wanted our podcast to be, because it is 100% an industry podcast. It's geared 100% for our brothers and sisters in the real estate and mortgage business. We do believe it is a contact sport. We do believe that we're in competition 24/7. And just because we're in competition doesn't mean we have to hit each other. I think we can push each other up, and we can help pull each other up when we're down. And we can all be, that competition can all be towards a winning goal, because there's more than enough pie to go around, as long as everybody's smart about it and they deploy intelligent strategic moves.
I think the other factor is that not everyone wants to be at the top.
Correct.
So yeah, is there competition? Sure. But you have your people like my mother, who's been a realtor for 40 years, right? Like you basically have to call her and beg her to take your listing, right? She doesn't need your listing. She does a favor.
Yeah.
You know, she does a deal every couple of years, basically. So, you know, that's, you know, part of the stats too. You have the old guard people, the people that are hanging on to their licenses, not particularly active. People that have it as an adjunct. Some people have dual licenses. Some people have 3 licenses, insurance, mortgages, and real estate. So it's really I would say it's a competition against yourself, holding
100%.
yourself accountable, pushing yourself to wake up early, to go to bed late, to answer yet another text, to, you know, do the unglamorous work like preparing a keynote speech or, putting your templates together and things like that. The stuff that's done quietly in your basement at odd hours.
Yeah, but it also leads to adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that we really, I think, reject about the other experience, right? Where you're, you know, on a big corporate ship that can withstand any storm. And I feel like in those moments, I'm like a feral cat. They look at me and they're like, why are you out here? And I'm like, if you take your eye off one of these lifeboats, I'm leaving. That's why I'm out here.
Nice.
And you couldn't have said it best. So they are the entrepreneurial people and the high performers. I do want to focus today's conversation on those.
Yeah, let's circle back here. Talking about Broker's Playbook, let's talk about a play.
Let's talk about a play, and let's talk about the one that you took from 0 to 60 and kicked its ass. Let's teach every single broker on what to do on the review play.
I got my notes. Let's do it.
So I'm just going to give some scope to this conversation and say that look at the competition on in marketing for the people that enter and say, I'm looking for a house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Immediately when you type that into Google, you're going to go to a place that's inundated with chatbots and lead generation and forced registration and major brands, right? Competing in that part of the funnel is more expensive than the majority of us. And I'm going to argue that the majority of agents out there can't afford to be on page 1 of Google.
Definitely not.
And even if you can afford to be on page 1 of Google, let's be honest, the majority of the most valuable clients in the marketplace, and I'm going to argue that that group is defined by people that can recognize value and are willing to pay for it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the clients we all want.
Mm-hmm.
And that group scrolls down past the sponsored ads in many cases. They understand that you can just buy your way there.
Yep.
So looking at this dynamic, you say, okay, well, what else do people search for if they're not looking at houses? Well, I'm going to say that this group, knowing that the average contact with the average person in our industry is not going to meet their standard for what value is, they're actually going to search who's the best agent. So imagine that you could search right now, best agent in Edmonton.
Okay.
Now take a look at that and say, okay, well, how do I get there? In my marketplace, it's on page 1 is a verified review service called rankmyagent.com. It might be different in your marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
But why that met my criteria is being verified reviews. It has to be like, it's something that somebody can't buy their way into. The other element is I understand how review companies are valued. So I spend some time in the tech world. I get to meet some people with some cool ideas about what this stuff is. And I can tell you that Yelp is one of the most valuable review services because you can't just ask somebody to review you there. They have to have like a Yelp credit history in order to be a verified person and review under frequency and so on. So it's a very locked algorithm, and that makes it more legitimate. And then when you take a look at what Google's doing right now, moving to home services, you start to wonder, why does Google never give you the order of all the people that are reviewed from top to bottom? It doesn't seem to work like that. Are they concerned that if someone was able to see how they looked, that it would show that they didn't have integrity? So now they're moving to a Google Home Services model, and I think everybody should be looking at that right now. And it's going to also be taking into consideration reviews, but my guess is that they're putting their second filter in to raise the legitimacy of what it means to be top reviewed by Google.
And I know you're going to take us down a specific path. Have you heard of review site services such as Bird Eye? And what is your take on those?
I haven't heard of Bird Eye specifically. Can you elaborate?
Bird Eye is a service that ties into your CRMs. It ties into your text community. It ties into pretty much all the latest and greatest trends of communicating with your audience and our clients, and gives you the ability to get more reviews. So it's timed, and it goes down a work path where a transaction, when it goes conditional, the first request goes out. On deal firm, if you didn't receive one already, a second request is going to go out. They can get a text reminding them to review the service. When they click on the link, it doesn't just take you to the GMB, the Google My Business. It actually takes you to an internal system where it can give samples of what to write, because many people don't know what to write, and you need to guide them. It gives keywords that you can click that are going to take you to the top of the algorithm within the Google review community. And at the very end of the day, if they had a bad experience, it's going to say, if you do have a bad experience, click here where you can tell us all about it and we can make it right. So instead of it becoming a review, it becomes an email back to management where we can now hit the bad experience head on and look of turning that around before it makes its way to the top of the list of the reviews.
Yelp is a nightmare with that too. Like if there's one bad review on Yelp, like it's impossible to expunge.
Yeah.
So the only defense against low reviews is high reviews.
Yes.
So if I get a 1-star review and I have like almost 300 verified reviews, you know what? Who trusts a 5? Who trusts a 5? I want that 1 star. I need to be a 4.8. I need to be legitimate. Yeah, right?
True. 5 is a bit dubious.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is that like now take a look at I look at teams in any capacity, companies, as cybernetic organisms. So we're groups of humans and computers trying to achieve goals together. Now, what you were suggesting is using a service that is going to try to get you more reviews and trying to basically, it's a computer that's trying to get the humans to do things.
Yes.
So for me, I looked at that a little bit different. I went a little more basic, and I said, okay, well, what is a 5-star experience? So on my team, instead of having a group of realtors that are sharing resources, we're like a sports team. We run plays. Everybody understands how we evaluate. We can talk to each other in detail about that. We talk to clients the same way. We have the same presentations, and we can A/B test like nobody else. So we run like the Navy SEALs against everybody else's standing army. My rookie almost did 40 transactions last year.
Wow.
And my rookie before him was just as scary. And my next rookie, can you believe that this is how a rookie looks now? She's made like over 2,000 meaningful connections. She has 1,500 logged bombs. And she's been on something like 30 client appointments. Like, rookies are terrifying. The world has changed. So taking a look at that, I said, okay, how am I going to set this up? So I want to go back to basics here. I want to say the reason that I chose this web service is because it appeared on page 1 of Google, and I could see a way to win. So a lot of people are getting reviews saying, I just want a bunch in a bunch of places because it gives me relevancy. Who cares about relevancy? They only call number 2 when number 1 doesn't answer. Full stop.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Full stop.
Right on.
So what does it take to win here? Right? Where can I win and how do I conquer this? Well, based on that, we made a concerted effort for 6 months, and winning in the verified review service that is now the official review service of realtor.ca, it meant that we got opportunities that resulted in over $100,000 of commission earned in the 12 months following. So what I was trying to do, because I'm trying to develop myself as a leader, and I really truly believe you need to scrape away the parts of you that can't exist at the next level, is I was saying, what does it look like when I take a lead stream that no one else can see from scratch? That was my job. So I chose reviews because that's what that looked like. And I made a meaningful review stream or lead stream in under 12 months. And I think it was like a 60x ROI.
Sick.
Yeah. And so now I've got that. I'm way far and away. So now I'm going to show you how to build this lead stream because this is a playbook.
Right.
So let's get into it. So the first thing is understand what a 5-star experience is.
Right. You got to deliver.
So you need to have
goods.
prepped clients. So I want to really focus this conversation on, there's so many people out there that are thinking that they're helping people find a house. Your job is to mold people to the market. You never mold the market to people. So why would it be possible for the average person to be sitting at home, never talking to an expert, never walking through any houses outside of those of themselves, their friends, and their family, to be able to understand how far their dollars go in the school zones that are important to them?
Got it.
That is too hard a question. So instead, what we should really take a look at is what type of effort does it take to help somebody like they were your cousin to understand how to win. Okay. And by doing that early in my career, I averaged in only showing about 7 houses for every sale I wrote. So the amount of speed that I got to meant that in my 3rd year of real estate, I did 60 transactions in 6 months by myself.
Nice.
And that was what I was talking about earlier when saying hit my milestones. What does it take to be a top level individual agent? What does it take to be a top level team captain, which is what I really view an in-production leader as? And now I'm moving into coach. I don't know if I should still call myself a team leader as I leave production.
What's the
because I
difference?
really want the shine to go to my teammates. I want a team so strong that no one can see me. I'm just going to be like Professor Xavier in the back.
Got it.
Professor X is the coach. And so if Professor X is the coach, who is your superhero equivalent of team lead?
Oh, yeah. I would have to say that if I was thinking superhero team leaders, man, who would you want to charge in with? Right? Like when I take a look at myself, like year 3 Taylor, year 4 Taylor, I was like that team captain position, like that team leader position. I was going in. And when I think about the superheroes that I loved growing up, I would, there was a team that I think they were called Youngblood. And they had a leader that was just like, that was his view, is like first one to be boots on the ground, last one to be boots off the ground. And that's really what I was in my like 4th and 5th year of real estate. When you took a look at like what I looked at to compete at this level, everybody's like, you can't live like this. And I was like, I know. I can just live like this longer than other people can.
Yeah, so I don't agree with any of it. I think you can live with it as long as you want. I've been living at this for 15 years in and I haven't had a heart attack, a mental breakdown, or any anguish whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I'm happier than a motherfucker every single morning. So I think a common mental feat that most people can't get over is actually working in what is their passion. And in my opinion, the only thing that every single guest on this podcast has in common is an unrivaled passion for entrepreneurship, both loving the bricks and mortar of real estate, because I literally love properties. I like looking at them, touching them, selling them, financing them. Tell me what you want to do. Like, I actually love property. I love earth. So to me, I couldn't be in a better place. So when somebody says, you work too hard, for me, it's not even like, I shut it down. I pretend it doesn't, it's not even said. Like, I'm not going to have this convo with you because you just don't get me. And that's okay. We're not meant to get everyone. Taylor, I want to go back to the question that Laura asked. If you're going to be a coach and not practice team lead, above and beyond the superhero that you can relate to, what is your succession plan to have? Who is replacing you? And I don't need a name specifically that's for your team, but what's the profile of the person that's going to replace you, bootstrapped to the ground, rallying the troops every morning?
Actually, that was the cool thing. The way that answered is my team answered that. My team has those positions. Like we took a day out of the market last Tuesday, just like we do every 90 days. And my objective at this meeting was to say less words than I have in any meeting previously.
Cool.
It was a beautiful thing. You can see the teammates stepping up. You can see who they look to for questions. You can see who wants that and who doesn't. Those are the things that I look at. And then the other thing is the future of teams is changing. And I don't think that top agents are necessarily going to work with team leaders. I think that they are the heroes of this story. They are the people that's like that period where, and Simeon, you were saying that you can choose the length of time. I'm not saying that it's a limited time. For me, I took client care the same way that I take teammate care. And I might have been too much concentrate for those short-term relationships with clients. And it seems like I'm the right level of concentrate for these longer term. Like my top teammate I took from coming here as a rookie, and the last year he worked here, his income was in the $250,000 range.
That's wonderful.
And he had a 5-year goal to be funded by passive income in real estate. And we were able to realize that goal together in 4 years.
Nice.
And so for me, I'm comfortable with that guy moving on like he had. People are not leaving my team to become competitors in the marketplace. And now I'm starting to see teammates that I never thought I would have access to as a team talk to me about being in my team. And I didn't realize that that's how I felt about brokerages, to think that a broker that I would work for would also be running a top performing team that wasn't interesting to me. But to think about working on a team where the team leader is there for you is a value proposition I don't know that others can match.
That's right. So I will say exactly what you said is kind of the exact structure of the REC team. And when we talk about a client experience, over the last 2 years, my business partner, Jazz Takar, and our vice president of sales and marketing, Laura Stewart, took an initiative of writing the book of world-class service for the REC team.
Nice.
We legitimately, systematized every single component of our business, meaning that I don't care if you're transacting a $100,000 fractional ownership up at the Kawarthas to a $14 million mansion in King City to a commercial transaction. The experience is the same from A to Z. You work with capable, people who understand the market, the micro market you're transacting in. You're going to work with a network of lawyers, accountants, and advisors. You're going to be touched by a transaction coordinator, so where your agent does not have the pressure of writing amendments at 11 p.m. as a last afterthought, but wake up in the morning at 8 o'clock to amendments, waivers, and process handled for the agent, ready to the lawyer and the client, and really took that entire process to the next level. So our clients, I'm very happy and proud to announce, go through this system, the world-class service system. Our agents, one by one, are slowly implementing it into their own book of business, because our agents specifically on our team have a different approach. We have a different approach of what a team means and what collaboration means and what systems mean. And what I'm identifying is, Taylor, that in your market, and maybe that's what InMen saw in you when they said, give this guy an innovation award. If you've been in the business 8 years and you've implemented these systems on your own without guidance, it is because you're an innovator. It is why you had specific success with it. Can you give me a couple of tips for any agent, mortgage or real estate? It doesn't matter if we're in the real estate industry. Sales is one and the same. From a customer service level, what have you done differently to provide a world-class or a 5-star experience, whatever you call it in your terms, a top experience, whether mortgage or real estate? What are the human elements that you pander to in order to create that experience where somebody is not going to forget how they were treated?
So I think that I have a different outlook on that, in which case that first I take a look at an experience as thinking that perfect is everything that you need, but nothing more. So if we take a look at what the perfect experience for a buyer is, I would argue that it's 3 houses. It's the one they buy and 2 others that make them know that that's the one they should have. And what would happen before that would help them understand how we came to that number, right? Like 9,000 listings. How did we come to 3?
Wait, so just to confirm, how do you as an agent say, okay, I've got 3 houses picked out for them. I'm pretty sure which one they're going to want the most. So I'm going to stack the deck with like these 2 that will come close, but not quite, and then end it with the 3rd one that I know they're going to want. How much intentionality goes into this order of 3?
Well, we're actually going to look at a whole bunch online. So during our approach to this, we're going to talk on Zoom. But what we do is we help people understand frequency of opportunity, and that's something that you normally don't hear about in real estate. How often does the house that you want that you would like appear in the place that you would like to live at the price you would want to pay? Okay. If they knew that opportunity was showing up only once every 4 months, then we better not miss this one. If they knew that situation was showing up once a week, well, then let's wait for that perfect kitchen. So there's a few things that need to take place in order for them to understand. So in my real estate experience, like when I was an individual agent, a lot of my clients didn't choose any of the houses we were going to see. I was very strong at helping them understand what this would look like. And then I delivered in such a way that they agreed with me. They're like, this was amazing. Like you really get us. And that's what I think that a professional does is they like, your doctor isn't like, so what kind of drugs do you like?
Yeah.
Like they like that's,
Can you
that's
imagine?
not what
It would be
do.
nice. It would be nice.
I don't think you should get your drugs from a doctor, but I'm just kidding.
Certainly not your weed.
No. See, that's so good. So when it comes to like how we create client experience, when we take a look at the lowest value client experience is a clerk. Okay. So imagine like in situations in most cases where someone is learning about client experience, they wear an apron. That's what the beginners do. Okay. And so in that case, we would take a look at that and say, that's like the white belt of service.
Sure.
Those people, what do they ask you? How can I help you? If you have to ask that question, you don't know.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
Nice.
Whereas if you're at this level, you better know. And you better be able to decode things. So what we're trying to do is reverse things. Make an experience that decodes the common issues. So what are the common issues in real estate? There's two decision makers that don't align.
Mm-hmm.
How did we deal with that? We used Bombbomb. Sending the original message with tone and inflection like this to both parties where they could watch it individually. It wouldn't be filtered from the one you like to call through their relationship to the other one. You eliminate a lot of those problems. So we basically send the video to both of them and ask them to call us back.
So using
convenient.
Bombbomb videos individually straight to the consumer.
Yeah, actually, like the majority of my Bombbombs are 1-to-1 or 1-to-2.
How long does it take you to do a Bombbomb? Because I feel half my team is absolutely mortified of video to begin with. Although they're at this point, it's not even talking about getting into the party. They're so late to the party. And I'm talking about a vast majority of agents. And I would say, I'm not going to say half. I'm going to say a quarter of my team is still not up to par to what the latest trend and expectation from clients are, which is personalized high-level service.
Question. Could you not use WhatsApp video instead of Bombbomb? I hadn't actually heard of Bombbomb before. I like what you're saying about like not texting them, but rather giving them the whole scope of emotion. Obviously, it's the best chance you have at communicating. But why Bombbomb? Why not just a WhatsApp video message to both parties?
So I'm always going to say the plan that works. Okay. But now I'm going to tell you the inside technology part. Mm-hmm. So the basically WhatsApp allows you to deliver things through Wi-Fi, and videos over a minute will start to like change how people receive them depending on the device that they're using. Sometimes you'll hear a friend be like, "Why'd this video come through too small?" And normally it's because it was too small for whatever like bandwidth you're dealing with. So what you want to do is make something that makes you like the universal donor of video. So what about your clients that don't use WhatsApp? What you could do this on Facebook. So if you take a look at this again, what's the optimal minimal? Well, why not shoot an unlisted video on YouTube, copy the link, and send somebody the link as an unlisted video, right?
That sounds sketchy.
Well, the truth is that it works. So I take apprentices that come onto my team. We had some shift shock with some people just joining in to some of the top performers here. And so what we now do is have people work with me outside of the team as a coach and kind of work their way in. And in doing that, we often start with that optimal minimal. So I look at video games as the device I would like to learn from, because they make lessons with entertainment. Like most of the children around me were taught task completion by Mario, and like it's a better intake. It's with entertainment. So they actually do the first 50 videos like this. They send them to the people they know and so on who have never received a personal video before. And they're actually pretty excited. And then I achievement unlock their Bombbomb. Now, what does Bombbomb allow you to do? Well, the big thing is that video is too large to travel by email. But what they do is they have a process that turns the first part of your video into a moving GIF so it attracts people to click it. Okay. And then at the bottom, it puts the amount of time the video is. Like, click here to play this 1-minute video or this 2-minute video, which massively improves the open rate.
That's right.
They also allow you to copy a link to send it by text or send it by WhatsApp, but you could always start in this one place. And it allows you to send video 1-to-1, but also 1-to-many. Like we use it when we do marketing, we do something called a CAB process where we create, advertise, and blast. So advertising is out on social media, but for the thousands of web or of emails that we have, we can make them into different like stages. Like we know people that are hot prospects want coming soon listings, but we know that our current clients don't want coming soon listings. Like they're like, that's not a good way to treat them.
That's right.
So instead we're sending them
why the
more.
hell do I want to see your upcoming listings?
Yeah. Wrong target.
Yeah. Tone deaf, right? And so Bombbomb allowed us to do all of these things. So I have like I think my current count of Bombbombs is like 5,600. So when you ask how long does it take me to do a Bombbomb, well, after that many, I one-shot almost everything.
Yeah, I'm actually
And
surprised that Laura hasn't worked with Bombbomb before. Bombbomb is probably the biggest platform on the planet right now for email marketing, like one to many. Being able to say Merry Christmas to everyone, or being able to like shoot out, like literally have your setup at your office, be able to say, Laura Martin, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. See you the first week of January when we get together back at the office. Click send. Like,
Oh,
okay,
I'm
so
going to be
now
all over
I want to get away
email.
from that
It's
and get
on.
into like the tactical stuff.
yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So first off, when it comes down to Bombbomb, the one to many thing, I'd say put that in a box and keep it for later. So
Sure.
I have like hundreds of thousands of views on various different platforms. I'm prolific with video. I do one to many fairly soon, but I want you to know that most of the agents that people are following that are known for video, they actually only sell real estate to make movies. They're not known for like their level of play, their amount of sales. They're not known as top agents. They're known for video.
Find
And what
that. It's like you're
I'm
spending
looking-
almost too much time on Instagram. Like,
Yes.
where are you selling houses with your 5 posts a day that you made?
Yep. So I'm on the other end of that, where my videos return on investment is so high because I'm sending video in places of other things. So Simeon, you were saying, how do I get my agents on board for this? And I'm going to give you the easiest access point possible. Are you
Love it.
ready?
Thank you. Yes, I am.
Cop it
Don't
up.
we all agree to be recorded on voicemail already?
Mhm.
So why not video instead of voicemail? Why not text that 30-second video instead of a voicemail? Like just hang up and send him a quick text and be like, hey, Jerry, I was just trying to get in touch with you. There is a new listing on day 0. I think we should go at lunch instead of the 5 o'clock rush. That is going to be something that you would crush it with. Now, if you want a next level of that, Kidfluence. So anytime you get the opportunity to send a video and you can include children, like imagine even getting a quick video of somebody's kids oohing and awing at the pool to the listing you're about to go multiple offers on, and then sending that video to the listing agent. I'm not here to take part. I'm here to take over is what that says.
I have a really cute
love it.
kid if you want to borrow him.
Yeah, that's awesome. You keep him away because I got 2 cute
Excellent.
little girls.
Oh, nice.
No, all shit aside, that was gold.
It's genius.
So you are using video in your every single day
That's genius.
transacting real estate.
You
Well,
probably send
imagine
a few
if you
back.
didn't have to type all those emails you return every morning. Imagine if you could just like turn it on, bang, 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 bang. Now look how much more communication I'm giving you right now than an email. Does anybody want to read an email? No.
Pass.
Does anybody want to watch a video longer than 3 minutes? No. But most email that you send can be read in under a minute. So why couldn't you just deliver it to them? And I found that the client response is so great because they can show the other person this information. They can watch it again. Those things, and these are the talk tracks that we should know in real estate. These are the things that you've already said 10,000 times. So why not say it in front of
Taylor,
the
you're
camera again?
saying you reply to emails and video?
Every time.
You're
Wow.
a beast.
Wow.
Yeah, like the I that's how I get like the numbers that I get. Like I've only been working with Bombbomb for 3 years, and like 5,500 videos is a lot when you look at the daily rate.
Got it. And you're finding tremendous success with it.
Well, like look at so here's like what you were saying, like how do you write the book on 5-star service? And what I'm saying is that the people that I respect the most that have changed the world don't ask those questions, they tell them. So when Steve Jobs was designing Apple computers, he wanted the edges of the windows to be rounded. And that broke the computers because they would run into the repeating end at the end of pi to do the calculation of the radius, and it would break the little computers at that time. And his designer was giving him all kinds of backlash saying, you can't do this. You can't do this. This is stupid. Why are you making me do this? And because Steve Jobs would not like relent, He grabbed him by the wrist and yanked him outside and said, "See that billboard? Does it have square edges around it? See that street sign? Square edges around it. See that television? Square edges around it. I am trying to make a computer that people will recognize as being one of them, one with them. And you need to make it happen."
That's right.
And that's what he was amazing at is that he the people were his symphony, the people that worked with him.
And isn't that the success story of Apple to this day? The intuition that carries them through the masses, that creates the lineup. It's so interesting. It is so interesting. So I think that's a great example. I'm super impressed with a lot of these tips today. Taylor, give me some closing insights for the Brokers Playbook community. What do you want them to remember the most from your story, and what can they look forward to seeing from you in the future?
Well, there's lots of places to find other content from me. If you want to join us, I think it's March 23rd. I'm going to be part of Buzz Conference.
Awesome. Our girl, Virginia.
Yeah. So she's amazing. And I love how she's been creating communities.
Yes.
I really appreciate that. And so I'm going to be doing a 30-minute keynote on the progression, because basically at 8 years, I have now left production. So moving from individual agent to team captain to the leadership or coach position that we're starting to see form in real estate is those movements are what's really important to the people that are engaging in real estate now. Is how is it possible for an individual generalist to compete with a group of specialists? Mm-hmm. It's like any martial art that advertises that they can defend against multiple attackers has question marks around it.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Just stay in your lane and be the specialist. Pick your practice and be the best at it. I look forward very much to seeing your keynote. I am definitely going to be part of that conversation at the Buzz conference with our good friends at Buzz. Laura is definitely going to be right there with me. So Taylor, thank you for that. Where can we find your content? And I know we're going to be sharing a lot of the links once we launch the podcast in a couple weeks. Where can our community find you and your content?
I normally, I'm on many different social medias. I'm a pretty friendly guy. So you can find me in many places. I don't hang out on Twitter, but I spend a lot of time on Clubhouse. And I like the contrast. So meaning that I see Twitter as being this place where people can use other people's opinions in odd ways. And I see Clubhouse as being this filter where if you can't go 3 questions deep, you're probably in trouble.
Nice.
And so I really like that place, and I plan to spend a lot of time there. On Tuesday mornings, I host a room on leadership with the largest broker in the global RE/MAX network. So Steve Tabrizi has 1,700 agents, and this is where I'm getting my education on leadership. And I also, you can also find me at hackandco.com and hackandco.ca. We have a lot of different blog work there. But I love great tools. So when I get a great tool, because I become a fanatic about it, they often are asking me to be like, hey, will you come hang out with us? So I'm a Bombbomb influencer. There's also a lot of content out with me with Follow Up Boss. And from what I understand, I have the most popular RE/MAX Hustle podcast in their library.
Amazing.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I also see a chessboard there. I challenge you on chess.com. It's happening.
I've heard dangerous things about you in chess.
It's on. I see the board. You're not escaping this.
I just invested in a great chessboard and a premium membership at chess.com so I can learn a little bit further. So maybe, Laura, you can teach me a couple of moves too.
I will teach you the 3-move checkmate, which will give you a success about 20%.
Okay, somebody just slayed me with that. Like I played with somebody who is like studying their they need to travel to get their master.
Yeah.
And like it was like I told them I wanted to play with them on photo. Like we both have physical boards and it'd be a slow game because he was way ahead of my level. And it wasn't a slow game. He just murdered me.
Yeah, just straight to the den.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
I will teach you how to defend against that. So you'll see it coming. Yes, I can
Okay,
teach
well,
you
I'm
time
very
again.
open to playing
Done.
chess with you as a learning experience
Yes,
because I've
can
heard the
do.
stories that know otherwise,
Uh,
that know for me to stay away from otherwise.
Amazing. Taylor,
So thank you guys so much for having me. Simeon, I think more people should know that they can find you on Clubhouse on Tuesday and Thursday evenings.
Yes, they
Your
can.
broker's playbook room. Last night, I want you to know that I was in rooms this morning that they were talking about last night.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, last night
So-
was a hardcore. It was a very very intense and uncomfortable to many, but very necessary convo. Thank you for mentioning it. The Brokers Playbook Clubhouse experience is every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. And it does carry from anywhere from 45 minutes to 2.5 hours, depending on the energy in the room. And you mentioned Steve earlier. Steve is a resource like no other. Last night we had Phil Soper in the room, which is the CEO of Royal LePage. Steve is kind of the other giant just in the Remax camp, and he is just like to say it's the guy you want to get advice from. It's the guy you're lucky to meet. It's the guy who shares every ounce of his knowledge. So Clubhouse, you get people that you never thought or dreamed of getting advice from, and it's absolutely free, and you can hop on stage and ask your question. It's just a wonderful platform.
I was in a room with Coolio the other day.
It's just unreal.
What?
Like that's unreal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
I was in a room with Coolio and Play from Kid and Play came in. And I was like,
not bad.
my mind is blown.
I love you guys. We got to bring this this amazing episode to a halt again. Laura, you're amazing. Taylor, thank you for sharing every piece of advice. Bye for me. Laura, any last pieces of insight?
I'm just glad that the world has people like you to grow and share and add value to others. And you're a lot like me and Simeon, I think, where we just let our trade secrets go for all who care to use them. There is no real competition. It's all about collaboration and adding value to other people. So thank you for being on that team.